Oh, batted again. We're spoiling this pony. She is getting old. Was in St. John even before me. Hopefully many travels together ahead of us. Well, what else do we have? We have a hole in the ice. Reminder not to stray from the right path. Oh, I see. The icon's only lit up on the right side because you can't actually travel to it. You can only get close, but you can't reach it. So you can only use the right button. Bad feeling about this. I will pray it was an animal. Reminder not to stray from the right path. So I guess someone or something fell in here. I already know, but I haven't gone much further than this, so... The bridge. Bridge is in bad shape. Neglect took its toll, soon beyond repair. Road towards the south. Back to St. John. Journey here took a day. Alright. The river Priory takes fish from river. River moves the Priory's mills, and the river carries away Priory's waste. Let's move up. Oh wait, let's use the book on something. It's kind of weird. Wouldn't it work better as a hint? Because you're telling it. Throw the book in the water.
Order my steps in thy word, and let not any iniquity have dominion over me.
So I guess it doesn't matter whether or not the left side of the icon is lit up when you're using something. Use it on the river.
By the breath of God, ice is given. Broad waters are frozen fast.
Does the Bible say anything about a bridge?
This neglect will be a burden on the Priory's coffers. A shameful waste.
Nothing too interesting. A hut. Toll hut. Usually Brother Paul sits here. Where is Paul? What do Bibles say about toll huts?
Where Paul is.
Apparently Bibles know Paul. Very interesting. The only thing we've missed so far is the monastery, far away from Shiring. Nobles come only on holidays. Wouldn't come if it wasn't for the cathedral. Kingsbridge, between trees to the mill. Well, we're here for Paul, so I'm assuming he's gonna be in the monastery. Brother Paul. And you know, the bells toll, and the bells are usually not located anywhere besides a church. Oh. Yeah, I guess we're just having a very zoomed out view of the area. Building in the fields, to the gate around the monastery, I guess, towards the north, or village of Kingsbridge. Many of Priory's servants gone, village almost deserted. Priory couldn't pay them.
Hello?
Oh.
I'm sure there was someone moving behind a window, but most houses are empty.
Alright, so they're either very frightened. No, they're probably very frightened unless there literally isn't anyone here.
The monks of Kingsbridge and their servants, I wonder which of them led a more pious life.
Huh. I like this guy. Road to Gloucester? Not many travel along this road. People only come for the cathedral. Well, I guess... let's just go to the gate. It's very clear there isn't much interesting in the village. Not at the moment, at least. Oh. Looks like it's not in that great a state. A disgrace, rubble should be removed. 4 years since the lightning struck. That's plenty of time. Morals collapsed as well. Ha! Horse. Looks like a strong mare. Must belong to a guest, a nobleman. Stables, horrible odor, should be cleaned. Priory full of neglect. I have a feeling there's gonna be a side quest involving cleaning a stable at some point. What else do we have? path around the cathedral. Cathedral main gate. Only cathedral in Sharing. Far from any town. Visitors only come on holidays. And guest house. At least this looks well kept. Guest master, a pious man. Too early to retire. This is the same thing. Kitchen door. The kitchen feels like coming home. Always good to see Milius and Cuthbert. They deserve a better priory. Alright, so I guess we know at least some of the people here. Door to the cloister. At least the cloister stands strong. In St. John we contemplate outside, yet my flock is content. I guess he's used to less quote-unquote luxury. Let's try the main gate. Makes sense. Knock at the front door.
Why did they lock it? Maybe the side entrance is
Path around the cathedral. I guess that's to the side. It's like he walks in a grid instead of directly to around the corner. Graves. Fresh grave, another soul lying in wait. It's also graves? So many buried here, awaiting judgment day. How many are without sin? None. Will I be without sin when my time comes? No. House of the Prior. Prior James's house. In St. John, I slept in the dormitory. Ooh. Does a prior really need his own house? I guess he's really into the whole waste nothing thing of monks. Let's use the door. At least it's not locked. Oh, we entered from here, but this door just closed. It's to the cathedral. Door to the cathedral, side entrance to the cathedral. I prefer this one to the front gate, I guess. It's more humble. He's really into the humble thing. Garden. And it's ironic because I got this game from a humble bundle. Planting a seed is like training a novice. Great things will come from it.
The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed according to their own kinds. And God saw that it was good.
Reproduction is good, isn't it? Cemetery, if we came from there. Chapter house. Let's wait. Probably going into the cathedral first. Door to the front of the cathedral. And Milius and Cuthbert's kitchen. And to the mill. Alright, let's just go through the door that was closed when we entered. Busted! Oh no, wait.
Thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the pestilence that walketh in darkness. The pestilence that rode in on the lightning that struck our cathedral 4 years ago. Did you not all feel its presence here ever since? James did, and I did as well. But the Lord says, because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. Our beloved Prior James has served the Lord all his life. He shall be delivered from the darkness, from this dark earth.
Prior James?
Philip.
Francis?
Shh. Oh. For many years, James has been our prior. After the upcoming election, I vow to lead Kingsbridge Priory with the same steady hand. Amen.
It's kind of rude ending a burial ceremony with politics.
Philip, we told your brother you'd come to Kingsbridge New Year's Day.
So that's my
I did
brother.
not expect to see you here.
I was on my way back to Gloucester and wanted to see you.
A priest working in the world of politics. You must tell us about it, Francis.
Of course.
And his brother a prior of what now? 2 years?
It's been 4 years, Cuthbert.
I see. How are things in St. John in the Forest, Philip?
Happy and healthy or better than Kingsbridge? Let's keep our commentary to ourselves just for now.
Our little cell is happy and healthy.
Happy and healthy. Thanks to your brother, Francis, St. John in the Forest is prospering. Its novices are obedient, its monks humble, pious, while our own priory is in such a sorry state.
You know James did the best he could. It was not his fault. Also, they make a remarkable cheese at St. John's. Come by the kitchen later to see us, will you?
I might have given that one away too early.
Brother Cuthbert seemed upset.
Well, we all are. The way James died was disturbing.
Disturbing, you say? How did James die, or ask about the devil? Well, let's just ask how James died.
Disturbing? How did Prior James die?
7 days ago, Brother Remigius found James's room empty. We all looked for him for hours. Then we found his footprints by the bridge, and a hole in the ice.
Oh no.
No.
In the small hours of Christmas Day, he must have walked out on the river. We didn't even find his body. The river took him, and the cold.
Suspected plot twist in the
pray for
future.
James.
He's not dead.
See me when you have time, Philip. I will be in the cathedral.
Along
And
the
I
way.
should go and see how Brother Cuthbert is doing. It's good to see you, Philip. Maybe things will get better after the chapter elects the new prior.
Hopefully. I will come by the kitchen later, Milius.
Sorry, here it is, right? James walked towards the river. Along his way, he picked up something heavy enough so that he could throw it onto the frozen river and it would collapse. And then he walked backwards through his footsteps to an earlier point where his footsteps can't be traced and has been hiding for some reason. Calling it now. What is Francis doing here and where is he? Question mark. Let's take it. It's another hint.
I don't know.
He doesn't know.
There is no reason to punish us for asking.
At least it wasn't Remigius who punished us. Brother Marcus said he's taking a beating now once a week.
Oof.
I saw him crying yesterday.
He cried. No more beating by Remigius, and he'll run.
I don't think so. Do you? Do you ever think of running?
I did. Everyone did, but I don't get beaten up. Saying prayers 100 times isn't that bad of a punishment.
But it is unjust. Yet I'll stay. Will you stay?
I'll stay too. We're brothers, after all.
Marcus is our brother too.
No. That's why I feel sorry for him.
That's the right attitude for a monk, I guess.
Remigius is our brother as well.
He's the sub-prior. We're novices.
I think we should all be equals.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Let us stay equals. No matter what.
That's a better idea.
No matter what. Now, what about God's temple?
They're gonna keep going, aren't they? Alright, I remember when I was that young, I was full of questions, but this is a place for quiet contemplation. Alright, let's, well, it seems that from what we've seen so far, that were quite pious, and maybe, yeah, let's have a chat with them. Reprimand for talking loudly, or just talk to the novices? Well, they seem to have had some pretty severe questions, so let's talk.
You look like you want to ask me something.
You are Philip of Gwynedd?
Yes, but you can call me Brother Philip.
You see? Told you he wouldn't mind.
Yes. Now ask him.
How about you ask him?
I already asked Brother Andrew.
Well, there's clearly a
doesn't
superior
count.
answer.
He wouldn't
Agree,
answer.
but ask them
Of course
quieter.
it counts. He was angry with me.
If you promise to lower your voices from now on.
There was a little timer on there in case you didn't notice.
Of course.
So you have to pick the answer fast enough.
Brother Milius told us you know the scripture very well. Could you tell us about God's temple?
Brother Andrew wouldn't tell us.
Must be a place.
He wouldn't tell you.
Cathedral.
That's probably what the guest master was talking about.
If you do something
Oh, we
to a
can use the
cathedral,
Bible, I
it'll be safe.
guess. Let's use the Bible in conversation.
Each of us is God's temple in the way that he created us.
Divine spark.
And what if someone does something to God's temple?
The scripture says, if anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy him.
Even if he destroys his own temple of God?
So for Prior James, there's no salvation as well.
Either there is no salvation for a self-murderer, which is rather harsh, but it might prevent them from killing themselves when the time comes, or it was not a suicide. I guess we could believe that he would never kill himself. I mean, I already stipulated a theory earlier. Let's go with the theory.
Prior James did not commit suicide.
But no one saw him that night. No one knows.
God knows. God
Cop-out
knows
answer.
what sent him running out of the ice.
They say the devil was chasing him.
Didn't say his name.
I have seen brave men run for many reasons. Never have I seen the devil. So we should not make room for him, neither here nor in our hearts. All right?
Yes, Brother Philip.
Thank you, Brother Philip.
It seemed like they were in desperate need for some answers. We are each God's temple. I guess the divine spark principle.
So, again, we're all God's temple.
Pretending like he knew all along. It's a great principle to prevent unnecessary cruelty, because if you literally can't afford to hit people, why wouldn't you? Well, because each of them is God's temple. Almost empty waterfront. Nothing here is in order. Candle. What a waste. It's a bright day outside almost. Candles are expensive. What else do we have? Way to the cloister. That's another candle. Yeah, that's also another candle. To the cloister. What a large priory. If only it was kept better. More candles. Door to staircase. Leads up to the roof. Never been that high up. I hope I never have to. I guess that's possible. Multi-story houses aren't very common. Cathedra. The bishop's throne. Resides far away from Kingsbridge. Bishop only here on holidays. Also, crack in the wall. What on earth? As if God was pointing at us. Did we fall from grace? The altar says, Father, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Francis, people used to say we looked alike. Well, he has a very prominent nose. Yours isn't nearly that prominent. Do I look like Francis does now? Now, People used to say we look alike. Let's interact with the altar.
Our Father that art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
I think that was a pretty standard prayer. Let's talk with Francis. I'm happy to see you. Small talk, or you look troubled. Straight through the point. Let's go straight to the point.
Francis, you look troubled.
You could always read me.
Felt very familial, that directness.
It's good to see you, Philip. King Henry is dead.
I know. Word reached St. John shortly before I left.
First the king, and now Prior James.
God has a plan, the devil has come to Kingsbridge or nothing. Well, he's our brother, let's discuss the devil with him.
The devil has come to Kingsbridge.
What?
Just something I heard. Something foolish.
And yet, these are dark times indeed. King Henry's death caused quite a commotion in the world of politics. There will be war.
Francis notes rivalry for the throne, part 1, inspect. Let's see what it says. Francis notes about the late King Henry, Empress Maud, and King Stephen part 1 dated 1st of January 1136. For many years, our late King Henry has been without an heir. His only legitimate son, as well as several other relatives, had drowned while crossing the English Channel one night in 1120. Finally, his daughter Maud gave birth to a boy. It was Henry's last wish that his infant grandson would continue his reign as Henry II once the boy came of age, and until that day his mother, the daughter of the king, would rule in his place. Despite being the rightful heir to the throne, Empress Maud is viewed unfavorably by most of the Norman overlords. The reason is Maud's marriage to Geoffrey of Anjou. The country of Anjou and the Duchy of Normandy have been rivals for a long time. A rivalry that now is about to become a war, taking place right here in England. For Maud's cousin Stephen of Blois has now crossed the Channel from Normandy and taken the throne by force. Oof. That guy looks really, not so much pain as kind of worried, maybe? Maybe I'm imagining it. How can you help? Don't get involved. Well, he's our brother. Let's ask if he needs help.
Maybe we could stop the suffering.
Maybe we can. I came not just to meet you. I was sent to look for a messenger of my lord, Earl Robert.
Here? In Kingsbridge?
Farmers said the messenger was heading for Kingsbridge 2 weeks ago. The knight was carrying a confidential document that might change the course of the conflict. People here trust you. Maybe the monks here know something.
We will find him.
One more thing. No one can know why we're looking for the knight.
I wonder why that is. Who knows something about Francis's missing knight? Alright, we found Francis, so I guess the first hint disappeared. That was a crow.
About that knight.
He was carrying an important document for my master. You have to find it.
Alright. Let's beat Francis with the Bible.
I wonder, Francis, how much of your work is related to our Lord?
All of it. But Earl Robert is not a pious man. I try to guide him as best I can, but I cannot change what he has me writing or reading.
So I guess he's a servant to a lord and I'm just in a communion all the time. Career paths, I guess. What do we need to do? Oh, we were supposed to go to the kitchen at a later time. Let's not go upstairs. This is, by the way, how far I'd gotten before I quit to restart.
Because God created us in his image. That's why we can all pray to him.
We don't need to go to church for that.
No, we are the temple.
But why?
Maybe we
Why
should
do we
talk with
create
them again.
temples if we are the temple? Isn't it almost arrogant to try and build a greater temple?
Don't say that.
Why not?
You're like talking like I'm not even there.
We wouldn't be here if it weren't for the cathedral. It feeds us.
We are people of God. Yet we need to eat too.
We come together here. The pilgrims donate. So do the nobles.
I see. A temple to feed the temple.
Yes.
We must take good care of us. And our cathedral.
We must.
Huh. Well, I was gonna say something like that, but they found it out on their own, so that's good. The front of the cathedral to the mill. Wasn't there a direct door to the kitchen? Oh, here we are. It's also the kitchen, the front of the cathedral.
This priory is so much bigger than our small cell in the forest.
We got a map. We open the map. Is it interactable? Seems like it isn't. So yeah, it's literally just paper. It's not, they didn't put any mechanics in this. Let's go through the kitchen door. That was the breadcrumb at least.
Philip!
Brother Milius.
Come! Warm yourself by the oven.
Is that Philip? Tell him to warm himself by the oven.
Ah!
Thank you, Brother Cuthbert.
Alright, new area. Let's click all the things. Kitchen utensils.
You keep everything nice and tidy around here, Milius.
It's not easy. This morning one of my ladles broke. That's never a good sign. Everything is falling apart.
Well, it seems at least he is taking care of his stuff. Ladles and spoons. Milius keeps everything nice and tidy. If only the rest of his priory was this well kept. My thought exactly. Way out into the cold, can feel winter creeping in, as if a frozen hand was reaching out for us. Painted pot. Nice pot with some seeds. Too nice a pot for a monk. What else do we have? Can't click on that because that's in the way. Stove and hot stones. Some have only a prayer to warm themselves. Oof. Some have not even that. Let's interact with the stove.
Ah, wonderful.
I always put some extra stones on the stove to warm up water. Put one in your pocket and you'll keep warm.
Oh? Ouch.
They're hot.